I mean, really, think about this. This is very dramatic. No wonder I'm driven crazy by it all. All right, so today, if any of you have any comments or questions, call, now's the time, 321-806-3159. It's Elaine at 321-806-3159. If you want to reach me, as soon as Guru Jeff gets my computer back to me, you can reach me at purpleportal777 at gmail.com. So once again, purpleportal77 at gmail.com. Those of you who have my other email, have a great time. Go for it. This is a very interesting day today, galactically speaking, because we enter the 13th moon of the galactic calendar. And this is the moon of presence. And this moon extends from today through July 24th. July 25th, which I know will be connected before then, but it's called a day out of time. And that's a very important day. So the whole tone of this month is about endurance, transcendence, and presence. So it's a big opportunity to focus on you feeling the interconnectedness of all life, just as I did with this beautiful gal who was checking me out. I didn't feel the interconnectedness of all life. I became it. That presence united us. And it's the cycle to be present to the presence. And this presence moves through all manifestations, every single one of them. And it's guiding everything. Nothing's happening without it, which I've had to really contemplate, because that means it's happening in the things that don't appeal to me or that frighten me. The presence is in the plant. So I've really understood that. And this is a month where you can embody qualities of any of the previous tones galactically. That brings me to a point about galactic information. Because the galactic year will be starting July 26th, there is a new calendar that comes out. Some of you, there's a gal, Shannon, if you're listening up in Tuxedo, New York, I know you know what the heck I'm talking about, and I've always felt very comforted because you do, somebody out there knows. I'm going to suggest to many of you, it's not a big expense, it's $20-something, that you start to appreciate and learn about this calendar. And let me see if I can quickly come up with the... what is it here? Wait. And I would tell you, order it. They need your support. Not only do they need your support, I mean, this is done as a labor of love from these people, which I'm thinking, wow, I got a lot of love, but this is above and beyond what love, I mean, this is dedication. So it's time for us to support them, and it's time for you to benefit from the galactic calendar. So here's how you would do it. You would go on to 13, the number 13, moon, MOON.com. 13moon.com. Their whole thrust of energy is toward raising the frequency on planet Earth. Well, the only way you're going to raise the frequency on planet Earth is to raise your frequency. And we sort of overlook that part. All the do-gooders are busy raising the frequency on the planet while their life is a total wreck. No. Focus on raising your frequency. And we do it by loving service one to another, by being patient when you want to really tear somebody's head off, by never, ever overreacting. That's called walking the central path. If you don't overreact to something, you've raised your frequency. And therefore, you've made a special indentation on the entire planet Earth and raised her frequency. Another way to raise your frequency is called sincerity and a sense of inner purity. Sincerity is something that's among the missing for many, many people anymore. We've lost that ability to be sincere. I could see it in the people that were in front of me on the line before this dear, beautiful woman. They weren't sincere. Again, I'll use the word dismissive. And I hate to tell you, they were a different color than she. And yes, it was a case of black and white, but my eye saw, oh, you poor white people, you don't know how your colors have dropped. This woman, her colors were ready to be ignited right away. The other people, no. Dull and dense and heavy. And the heaviness was a heaviness of thinking and a heaviness of beliefs. So they weren't sincere. They didn't wish her well. Couldn't even look at her. So sincerity, very, very important in raising your frequency. And purity, that too. That's a lost word. As a little Catholic girl, I was terrified by that word because, oh my God, if you had an impure thought, you had to go to confession. I didn't even know what an impure thought meant in those days. But purity of spirit, that sense of, seeing things properly, looking at beauty and honoring it and respecting it. I look out at the trees right now, and where we live in South Florida, it's a virtual paradise and a kaleidoscope of color. And the trees are pure. And I breathe it in and thank them that they're so magnificent. I'll be out walking and I will stop and touch a bud or a little thing of a plant. I don't know much about plants, but I'll stop and tell it how pure and beautiful it is. And thankful. Another way to raise the planet and yourself. How about dropping your selfishness? We've become so selfish as a people, we don't even know we're selfish. We're selfish. We're selfish in how we behave to ourselves, actually. But we're certainly selfish in relationships. Cultivating the virtue of perseverance. This would raise your frequency. When you start something, finish it. That sounds easy enough. People tell me that's really hard. And it's become challenging. Not hard, it's challenging because we have so much that interferes with our ability to persevere. We're like little wild animals. On to the next thing. Quick, hurry, quick. If you want to stabilize your frequencies, here's one for you. Look very carefully at what you're drinking, okay? It's called alcohol. Be more and more discerning. Drink less and less until it's none. Because alcohol, it pushes you up. It's like chocolate. It pumps you up, and then it drops you. Now, it may not drop you for 24, 34, 48 hours, and you won't then remember, that's what dropped me. Same with food. If you want to change your frequency and stabilize into a higher frequency, choose better and better food, more food that's alive. I'd had a friend over the weekend. Her husband became quite incapacitated, would be the loving word to use. He actually almost couldn't even move. He was in such pain. And it was determined after a trip to the emergency room that he had gout. Maybe. I think it's a lot more than that, but that's what he's willing to take right now. I've been with him while he's had food, and I've been with the wife, and I understand the way the food's hurting them. I understand by their choices. But worse than that, because he doesn't want to have food in the house, get this one, because he thinks he'll eat it, yeah, that's what it's there for. The wife is not allowed to bring food in. So wife eats half of her portion at dinner and takes the other portion home and has it then for breakfast. Okay, but again, this is about acquiring knowledge, and this is a bright woman. Knowledge says leftovers have little or no chi, meaning life force, left in them. So it's kind of like, why don't you have a piece of cardboard? It'll be kinder. And she became a little defensive with that. But, you know, I can be really super patient for year upon year upon year until I see that you're getting hurt physically, outwardly. All the while, hurt's been going on inwardly, and I'm like, I will gently put it out, I'll gently put it out, I'll gently put it out, and then finally, I gotta go, stop! You're smart. Would you read? Would you look? You Google junk on the computer. Google something healthy. And learn about the food you're eating. The more we put in living food, the clearer we're going to think. The more clarity in your thoughts, you're going to make better thought choices. And here's one that if I've heard this word once in the last 10 days, I got to tell you, someone's used it every single day, at least once. And it's a word that I tell you, I don't particularly care for swearing. The F word, not particularly something I'm going to cotton to unless I got to get your attention. But this word, this is a 4-letter word that's actually, it supersedes the F word, and it's called hate. And I have heard people that know better, use the word hate and hatred with such force and such vengeance that I actually had to pull back. I couldn't even address it. And thank God it wasn't directed toward me, although I say that and think, well, that's really dumb because I am all in all, as you are. So if the hatred is directed toward Joe Schmo, it might as well be toward me under the law of one. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to repeat it 3 times. Hate equals death. Hate equals death. Hate equals death. Love equals life. Love equals life. Love equals life. And there's a reason to give something 3 times today. It will allow you to tear down your old infrastructure and rebuild a new one. But you got to really look at what you're hating. The more hatred, the lower the frequency on this planet. And boy, is that ever evident. Every which way we turn with the horror of war, the horror of poverty, the horror of ignorance and not enough education. That's all hatred-based. So another way to heighten your frequency, and some of you I know are very good at this and really into it, yoga. Yoga will heighten the frequency, and so does Qigong. because they are exercises that move the energies, the heavenly energies from without, and they concentrate them within the temple. And then